These places prove that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 mysterious places on Earth. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at real places that are shrouded in secrecy and/or are associated with the unknown or the unexplained.
There's no way we could just get an escort?
No, not at all, and I'll have the police come and arrest you if you don't leave.
Number 10, the Alaskan Triangle, also known as Alaska's Bermuda Triangle.
It might help if mystery had a face there.
Spanning the vast southeastern reaches of the Alaskan wilderness up to its mountain ranges, an unusual number of hikers, boats, and planes vanish here without a trace. In fact, the state of Alaska has not only twice the American national average of people reported missing, but also the lowest statistics for people found.
Could we talk about this when I get back from Alaska?
Is it the unforgiving weather, wild animals, immense uncharted terrain, or something more sinister? The indigenous Tlingit people tell stories of a shape-shifting being called Kushtaka, meaning land otter man, who mimics the screams of children to lure unwary travelers to their deaths. Others blame Bigfoot or propose that the area is a vile vortex like the Bermuda Triangle, linked to electromagnetic aberrations.
To reduce it to simplified terms, the weather was just plain rotten.
Number 9, the Stony Tunguska River, also known as the Patkamanaya Tunguska River. In 1908, an explosion 1,000 times greater than the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima tore through the air over Siberia. Witnesses reported a column of bluish light as the sky seemed to split in half and catch fire.
It's called the Tunguska event, and it was a comet or a meteor or something like that.
The blast sent a shockwave that knocked people off their feet and flattened 770 square miles of forest, toppling an estimated 80 million trees. When the first expedition arrived to investigate, native guides would not enter the impact zone, fearing people they called the Valley Men. Scientific consensus attributes the blast to the explosion of a meteorite in midair, leading some to blame natural gas or even a collision with alien spacecraft.
Vertrete auch die Auffassung, dass dort eine Gasexplosion gewesen sein muss, aber nicht nur.
Number 8, the Devil's Sea, also known as the Dragon's Triangle and the Pacific Bermuda Triangle. This is a region of the Pacific Ocean that's south of Japan, where several ships have disappeared. Notably, the Japanese research vessel Kaio Maru No. 5 in the early 1950s. Sailors have reported problems with electronic instruments and sightings of unmanned ghost ships.
Christ, she's beautiful.
American author and linguist Charles Berlitz made the area around Miyake Island famous with his book The Dragon's Triangle in 1989. Although authorities claim the Kaio Maru was destroyed by natural forces while the crew was investigating the eruption of an underwater volcano, Berlitz attributed the incident to unknown supernatural forces, and even blamed the Dragon's Triangle for the disappearance of aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart.
Earhart, this is Itasca. Did you receive transmission?
Number 7, Island of the Dolls, also known as Isla de las Muñecas. As you navigate this creepy island just south of Mexico City, thousands of small, unblinking eyes watch your passage.
Oh my God!
The island is actually man-made, dating all the way back to the floating gardens of Aztec times. As legend has it, owner Julian Santana Barrera found a little drowned girl in the canal and a doll floating close by, which he hung in a tree as a sign of respect. But shortly following this act, he started to hear whispers, footsteps, and screams following him in the dark. Santana Barrera spent the next half-century hanging dolls to pacify the girl's spirit.
He found the dolls in the canals and in the trash. He started hanging them up to protect him and to try to scare away the spirit of the girl.
When he died in 2001, his body was eerily found in the same spot he'd found the drowned girl. Number 6, the Nazca Lines.
The lines themselves directed you farther east.
Some 2,000 years ago, hundreds of complex geoglyphs were carved into the desert sands of southern Peru.
I always thought that they brought the rocks here and that they had to build these shapes.
Composed of thousands of lines, the geometric figures and animal and plant designs cover arid plateau south of Lima, more than 50 miles in size. How were such complex designs created without aerial technology? Why did these people create shapes in the soil that are only visible from the air or hilltops? While scholars claim the lines were constructed using simple surveying equipment, others speculate the use of hot air balloons, or that the lines were once alien airfields. Various other uses have been proposed, from religious symbolism to astronomical calendars to irrigation, but their ultimate purpose remains unknown.
They must be some kind of message, but it's a message we can't understand.
Number 5. North Sentinel Island.
The isolated Indians are being forced into ever smaller regions.
An isolated indigenous tribe has lived on this island in the Bay of Bengal for an estimated 60,000 years. Fringed by perilous reefs, the island is difficult to reach, and boats that do land are met with a hail of arrows. As a result, little is known about the Sentinelese. Their language is unclassified, and population estimates range from 50 to 400. During one failed expedition, as tensions rose between locals and anthropologists cornered on the reefs, some of the indigenous women made off with warriors and proceeded to have sex on the beach. What are the beliefs and customs of the Sentinelese? What do they think of our metal ships and flying machines?
This tribe believes in total isolation. It will not tolerate a stranger.
Number 4. The Michigan Triangle.
It's been known to actually chase vessels and try to capture them.
Often compared to the Bermuda Triangle, this region in Lake Michigan is the site of numerous maritime and aviation disasters. Particularly notorious is the strait linking Lake Michigan and Green Bay, known as Port des Morts or Death's Door, which is littered with shipwrecks thanks to hidden shoals and unpredictable winds. But the most famous incident was the crash of Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 2501 in 1950, which killed all 58 passengers and crew, and was the worst airline accident to happen in the United States to that point.
Therein lies much of the mystery. Why was this plane so far off its course?
Only light debris and human body fragments were recovered, although mass burial sites were recently discovered in local cemeteries. Annual searches for the wreckage continue.
Van Heest and a search team have been hunting Lake Michigan for the plane's debris.
Number 3. Easter Island. 887 monolithic stone statues watch over this remote Pacific island. Carved by the Rapa Nui people as early as the year 1250, most of these silent sentinels line the coast with their backs to the sea. What compelled people to build and transport such giant figures, some of which weigh over 80 tons? While oral histories recount that the statues walked into place of their own volition, scholars have proposed various theories, including that they were moved by rocking their bases back and forth. Scholars speculate that the statues represent deified ancestors, but the island's stone guardians could not protect the Rapa Nui people, whose population has been greatly abolished by deforestation, European diseases, and Peruvian slavers. Number 2. Stonehenge.
Who built it? How was it built? And why?
This is the name given to a ring of standing stones around 5,000 years old that are surrounded by hundreds of ancient burial mounds in Wiltshire, England. Scholars have debated the significance of Stonehenge for decades.
These are some special stones.
How did prehistoric people transport the giant stones, some from hills 150 miles away? Hypotheses include long tracks of logs, sleighs on greased tracks, and of course, aliens. Oh, and let's not forget Merlin, or giants. Opinions also differ as to the site's function. Was it a burial site, a place of healing, or an astronomical observatory? According to the Royal College of Art researchers, the blue stones have, quote, unusual acoustic properties, ringing when struck, which was often associated in ancient cultures with mystical properties.
I believe this is a meeting place to connect with the ancestors. I am utterly convinced the stones are linked to the ancestors.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I'd say 20 seconds walking into the Screaming Woods, we hear what sounds like a scream from way back deeper into the woods.
Rumor has it there is a secret base hidden underneath the Archuleta Mesa here. The mountain overlooks Dulce. Some people in town say the base is run by aliens working with our federal government to conduct mind control and genetic experiments.
で、ここで1日か2日止まって、それで死体が見つかってればこれ片付けられると思うんで、多分見つかってないんだと思います。
Number 1. Area 51.
And that, my dear Earthlings, is the key to understanding the entire universe.
U.S. Air Force facility or storehouse for extraterrestrial technologies. Located deep in the Nevada desert, this remote research installation has been used as a test site for experimental aircraft and weapons, with the dry bed of Groom Lake providing an ideal airfield. But the secrecy around the site and a string of alleged UFO sightings have stimulated allegations that the base houses crashed and reverse-engineered alien spacecraft, and even alien collaborators. While skeptics suggest the UFOs were reflections of light on the broad fuselage of aircraft such as the Lockheed U-2, people claiming to be former employees report having worked hand in four-fingered gray hand with extraterrestrial engineers in a vast underground facility.
The truth. What is going on here at Area 51? What are these black budget projects?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.